So today we're going to be heading out of town to hunt down filming locations for an episode of the A-Team that has them going to Las Vegas to try and rescue a college professor that perfected a winning gambling system. So join me today as we check out filming locations for the A-Team Season 1, Episode 6, The Rabbit That Ate Las Vegas. Let's go see what we can find. The episode begins with some footage looking around what we would assume is downtown Los Angeles, but it would appear that this is actually some stock footage of New York, which has changed a lot since the 80s. This shot, which shows the Howard Johnson restaurant, I believe this was taken at Broadway and 46th Street. So Hannibal, along with BA, get a bus and pick up their next potential clients and bring them to a hideout. And it's then that these potential clients start to tell them about their friend, Professor Bruce Warfield, a very respected professor. Well, anyways, he created this formula that would make it almost impossible to lose while gambling, and he took it to Las Vegas. But he's now gone missing, and the girls are afraid that he's being held against his will by Las Vegas crime king Gianni Christian. And so the A-Team decides to take the case, and they head out to Las Vegas. Well, we made it to Las Vegas, but I've got some bad news. They never actually filmed in Las Vegas. I know, but hold on, come back. While we're here, we can at least get all of those establishing shots that they used. There were actually a lot of shots taken around town, like this one taken from Fremont Street, looking at the Plaza Hotel. But Fremont Street has changed a lot. It's now covered, and you can no longer drive on it. But there's the Plaza Hotel, and there's that neon cowboy that you can also see in the shot. One of the few things here that hasn't changed. Now, just about every sign that you see in this shot, except for Circus Circus, is now gone. It would have been taken from here, a little bit higher up, most likely from a balcony of the hotel that used to be here. Now, if we head out onto the strip, this is a little closer to the shot that you get. And like I said, Circus Circus is still there, but the sign is blocked by the sign for Resort World. Now, a couple of these, like this one for the Flame Steakhouse, can be found at the Neon Museum. You can also see a sign for the Riviera, which can also be found there, but it's not the same one seen in the A-Team. We get a shot rolling past Sahara, which has been remodeled, but that is the same building. And once again, one of the original signs can be found at the Neon Museum. We also see the Riviera, which used to be located right here, and we see the fountains outside of Circus Circus, which is still there, minus the fountains. We also get an overhead shot of the pool at the Desert Inn, which used to be located right here where the Wynn Resort now is. So the main hotel and casino where all the action takes place was the Xanadu, but it wasn't actually located in Las Vegas. It's this building right here behind me, at least the exterior shots. This is the Marriott Hotel, located right across the street from the Los Angeles International Airport, and this building was used for all of the exterior shots of the Xanadu Hotel. Now, all of those exterior shots were filmed at the Marriott, but I'm pretty sure that all of these interior shots of the casino and of the A-Team walking through the hotel lobby and checking into the hotel, this was just a set, most likely filmed on a soundstage. And we now get more establishing shots around Las Vegas, starting back at Fremont Street, looking at the Mint Hotel and Casino, which used to be located at the end of Fremont Street, which you can see now looks a lot different. Here's another shot of that neon cowboy, and like I said, it's one of the few things here on Fremont Street that's still here. And here's a shot of a few hotels that have all been torn down, except for once again Circus Circus. But behind Circus Circus in that shot, you can see the Stardust and the Frontier, both of which were torn down years ago, but once again, both signs can be found at the Neon Museum. We get an establishing shot of the hotel that's supposedly across the street from the Xanadu when Face and Amy check in, pretending to be on their honeymoon. Now, it's not really in Las Vegas, it's actually the DoubleTree Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. And we find ourselves back at the Xanadu, where the A-Team is getting ready to head inside to rescue Professor Warlord. With the exception of the fountain no longer being there, the exteriors of the hotel still look pretty much the same. So Hannibal and Murdoch successfully rescue Professor Warsaw just as a couple of Gianni's henchmen come out after him. Now, as the van's getting ready to pull away, you can actually see the sign for the Marriott. Now, just after the A-Team pulls away, Gianni Christian falls out of the window of his penthouse and lands dead in the fountain below. And now everybody thinks that the A-Team are the ones who killed him. And so now they've got to try and get out of Vegas because not only are the henchmen going to be after him, but so are the cops. We see the A-Team's van coming down the street right here, and they then pull up to the corner and come to a stop. And when they look to the left, they see a police car parked right over here, and they start to get a little bit nervous. The police officer then checks his notes and sees that their van matches the description of the vehicle that he has on his notes, and the chase is on. And now, for some strange reason, the chase goes from Santa Clarita to Venice, California, but just for one quick shot of the police car driving down this road without the A-Team van. It's kind of strange editing. And then, out of nowhere, the police car flips over in a dirt field and the A-Team gets away. Now, that little motel that the A-Team's hiding out in with the professor? Yep, you guessed it, not in Las Vegas, but in the San Fernando Valley on Ventura Boulevard. The motel now has a different name and some of the windows have been covered up, but for the most part, it still looks the same. We now find ourselves back at the Hotel Xanadu, and this time we get a good shot of the outside of the hotel from across the street. The A-Team has returned to the Xanadu to take out the real killer of Gianni Christian, which was his right-hand man. Now, in order to do that, Hannibal has to sneak into the hotel, so he dresses up like... Well, anyways, Hannibal dresses up, and then him and Gianni's killer take off on the limo with the rest of the A-Team, except for Murdoch, who takes off with Professor Worcester in a helicopter. Now, that helicopter is supposedly taking off from the Xanadu, but I believe it's actually taking off from the roof of the Millennium Biltmore in downtown Los Angeles, which I believe has 2 helicopter pads. Now, the way that we know that this is where it's taking off from is by the buildings that you see across the street. If you look at the Millennium Biltmore, and then we walk across the street and turn around, these are the 2 buildings that you see when the helicopter is taking off. We see the cars turning onto Henry Mayo Drive and then onto the old road and heading towards Magic Mountain, which is that way, like less than a mile. Actually, if you look right over here, you can see Magic Mountain. Now, the way that we know that that scene was filmed right here is, first of all, these mountains right here, you can match up these mountains and that utility pole and that lamp post. Also, for a split second, you can see a restaurant, and that's the Castaic Junction restaurant. You see a sign that says ham and eggs. That's how you know what restaurant that is. And that used to be located right here in this empty field. And check this out, this is so cool. There's a low shot of the cars pulling out of the driveway, and I just noticed that this lamppost on the corner of where the restaurant would have been, this is the exact same light. So you can actually match up this one, that street light in the middle, and that utility pole. So that's how we know that this is where it was, because other than that, this whole area has been developed and it doesn't look the same. So the cars are turning off of Henry Mayo Drive, they make a right turn, and then the entire rest of the chase, they're just going back and forth right here on the old road. So the car, of course, ends up flipping over, and it flips over right here in this field. And off in the distance, you can see Magic Mountain. If you look right out there, there's Magic Mountain. Of course, most of those rides were not there at the time, but you can see the observation tower, which you can see right there, and you can also see these utility poles. And it looks like that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed checking out the filming locations for the rabbit that ate Las Vegas, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Whatever the heck this is, but you can match up. Okay. Yep. And that utility pole. Nothing's changed right here.
Hey man, what you doing banging on my ride?
I just was wondering if you wanted us to park it.
No.
Oh, thank you.